So, is it legal for a man to cry for a love story? Ugh, you know, let's find out. Alright, yeah, that title. I don't think it's, I don't think it's appropriate for this game here. Well, anyways. This is To the Moon from Freebird Games, Mr. Ken Gao. Ken Gao, the creator. As you can see here, it uses 16-bit graphics. It's old school style Super Nintendo era. I usually hate this or just don't get... I really don't know why they, like lots of developers, use this type of graphics. But, you know, I really do, but it's just that at least if they use something old like this or do some extra, they could do something else. Like they could add like an extra, but unfortunately a lot of them don't. But I did ask Mr. Ken Gao, and he did reply to me that, you know, it's really easy to use for it's easy to use with sprites, and it's a bit of a nostalgic in this one. And regarding the sound, like the music, oh my god, it's really good. It's really awesome. Very high quality. It fits like the feeling of the music really fits the game perfectly. From the start to the end, from every scene, in scenes that are somewhat, I would say, intense, as in psychological sometimes. It really fits the scene, and sometimes, well, here's the thing. I'm not gonna give any spoilers because it's really hard not to give spoilers because the story, personally, I really think it's really good. But anyways, you can call this an interactive movie rather than a game. But to me, it's still a game. But trust me, you can consider this a interactive movie. The story is intriguing from the start to the end. Of course, you come at a certain point where, well, you pretty much know what will go on next. I mean, it's really obvious nearly at the end. But there's just enough hints to keep you going. But the special part about this, without giving any spoilers, which I won't do since the game is pretty short. I mean, it's 4.5 hours, 5 hours top. The story is going backwards. Yeah, and you see, there's two scientists that have the ability to change a person's memory. This being said, the old man wants to go to the moon, but he just doesn't know why. Since changing memory is not a simple process, they must have an answer to that. They just can't like flip a switch and like this, and they can't do that. So the doctors just go on a journey to find out why the old man wants to go to the moon. And through the story, I've done it, and this is a kind of game that you must go through one shot. It's just liberate yourself for 4 hours, like an evening, for example. You've done your work. You arrive at home at 5 or 6 or whatever, just eat, and then you go through that game one shot. You can easily do that. You can easily relate to the old man. He does a good job of being interesting throughout the entire time, even though he's just sitting on a bed, you know. And you'll know why he doesn't always sit on the bed, but you'll know why that later. And I have to admit that Dr. Watts made me laugh sometimes, but he's still a dick and he's still a douche, but an interesting dick and interesting douche. I know that doesn't really sound right, but anyways. And like I said before, the music plays well in all the scenes, and it fits perfectly with the story. It's warm, full of emotion, and I have to admit, it wasn't hard to put myself in the shoes of Johnny, well, the old man. The scenes are wonderful as well. Even though it's 16 bits, you can see the different scenery from the house to the backyard to the carnival to to a school. And that's what's great about the 16-bit era. Even though you're limited to graphics, I mean, there's very limitations you can do with this 16-bit, you know. The imagination is not. The things that you can do with this is really awesome. But occasionally, like, the game is not without its flaws. You will encounter a puzzle sequence in a sort of grid card with pictures on it. Like, there's a big picture and those cards will just split it up. And some are turned towards you with the picture on it, and others are not. So it's up to you to turn those, I would say those white pictures, which you'll see right now on the screen, to the, that you must, like, well, okay, just, all you gotta do is put the squares or the grids in a proper pattern in a number of turns. That being said, I personally wouldn't mind just getting rid of the entire puzzle sequence, because I feel it wasn't part of the game. Perhaps it's just a way to increase the length of the game, I'm not really sure. Something to do rather than just looking at the just hearing the story and watching the story. I personally wouldn't mind if he would like remove it completely. Besides that, there's a lack of content aside from the storyline, of course. Like for me, an adventure game, and I come from the old adventure games, the old school of adventure games, like Sierra, for example. Even though you're limited in time and gameplay with this, I mean, it's like only 4 hours and a half, the player should be given something else. Like, I remember with Sierra games that you could click and, like, click everywhere, or, well, at some point in time with Sierra games, you had to type in your commands. You could look at everything, you could click at everything, and you would see a text. And sometimes it would be just for fun and being funny, and other times it would be giving the story or just another part of the story, just Easter eggs or stuff like that. It was really fun. It would had stuff to do. And I have to admit that in adventure games, especially with the Sierra ones, which I always go back to my reference, I did it on purpose to make the, to kill my character, just to know what would go on, or make him go in situations that it would be really stupid. Or just like, I don't know, in Police Quest, you just grab your gun, shoot someone. What will happen? I don't know. And a certain type of event would happen, and I don't know, I would just find out that it was really fun. Unfortunately, there isn't here, but it doesn't. That's not really a big problem. I mean, the game is still fun. It's still very interesting, but besides that, those two little problems, there's another problem with the pathfinding. Like when you click on your, you get your character control, and you kind of like the pathfinding is a bit weird. You click on the screen at some point, and then you could get stuck behind like an object, which is really annoying. But that's not all the time, though. It's just sometimes. And I have to tell that it's really annoying. But besides that, besides those little problems, which is really not, it doesn't stop from the game from delivering a high quality story. So in conclusion, this is a must, no doubt about it. It's a 5 hours perhaps well spent. It sounds like some games are valued by their content, but I value this one for the story. It's a breath of fresh air for the, I would say, I'm not afraid to say it, from the gaming industry. I'm not kidding here. It's not your old go kill this villain or go rescue this guy or this girl or whatever. Usually in an adventure game, it's always like this, or almost always like this. Something happens and you just gotta find out what the hell's going on. Then you just know that it's just a guy who wants to kill everyone, or who just wants to rule the world, or it's just a remake or a reboot. No, it's nothing original, it's nothing fresh, it's just recycled old crap. Not that I like this, but I've done this a lot, and I'm just getting tired of reboots and remakes. Just give me something good, just something original. I don't care if it's short like this, it's really good. And to tell you honestly, I can't wait for the second one. I think he's supposed to release it, well, Ken Gao is supposed to release it this summer, and I will buy it. It's really good. And, oh, well, yeah, for the characters, just before I go, for the characters, like I said before, Dr. Watts is really interesting. The only weak spot in the characters would be Dr. Rosaline. I don't feel like there's a connection. I wouldn't mind if she would die. And that's a big problem because she's part of the like the primary cast. Like, she's in front with Johnny and Dr. Watts. I have to feel something, but no, I really don't. So there it is. To the Moon for the PC. And it's only $10 on Steam or GOG.com, so go ahead. It's a real one. It's a good one. You're gonna just make sure to have some tissue beside you because you will cry. Or just have just water in your eyes. Anyways, see you later, guys.